Coming to you from the Hart Building in historic downtown Marysville. Getting into all the dirt from the gridiron game, it's time to huddle up with your host, Adam Avalos.
Welcome, everyone, to Huddle Up. We are so glad that you are here with us on 93Q. A big day of football action yesterday. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be with us. That's like my tagline. I don't know. I'm just going to roll with it. Maybe I heard somebody say it and I stole it, but I can't remember who I heard say it. What do you think, Kelly?
Roll with it, man.
Roll with it.
As long as you got there first, man, it doesn't matter.
Now that football, yeah, exactly. As long as we don't know who said it. We are watching Monday Night Football here. The score is 3-0. As always, we're on during Monday Night Football, so we're going to check in with this game. 8:28 left in the second quarter. We got a flag on the field, and the score is 3-0. Falcons are over the Eagles. Looks like the Eagles are kind of driving here, but 8:28 left in the second quarter. Really, really low-scoring game here. Me and Ryan to my right here, we're playing fantasy football against each other this week. I don't know. This couldn't be helping you too much. A low score, right? We need some touchdowns to be scored.
We need some touchdowns. We need Hurts to hit Goddard in the end zone like 2 times, and I think I'll take you.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Ryan are playing each other. We'll be keeping tabs.
And you still put him on the show.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I did.
My friends, when we're against each other, we're not friends that whole week.
No, I know. We hardly are, but we're not mortal enemies. So
no.
We're good. But we are going to talk about a super awesome topic that I know these guys can't wait to, especially this guy, Ryan. We're talking about him a lot right now because the Raiders, they pulled off an excellent win yesterday. The Raiders and the Ravens played 26-23 off a field goal. Ravens kind of had a chance at the end there, but they could not get the ball down the field for their heck of a leg kicker, Justin Tucker. So the Raiders won. Ryan, our resident Raiders fan, give us your synopsis of the game. What do you think?
Big upset, man. The Raiders just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in the week, I believe. I believe in a lot of survivor leagues, a lot of people, like 30% of people across the board picked the Ravens to take over the Raiders. They were down, when the points opened up, spread opened up, they were down by 10. AP even said it in the game notes. When you're down by 10 in the NFL league, I've been around a long time, that's a slap in the face that basically says you're going to lose. You're going to lose. But you know what? The Raiders defense showed up. I know you guys are football fans. I have never seen a Raider defense this way. They swallowed the run up. They held Lamar down to about 45 yards total. Derrick Henry was held to 10 yards by half. Yes, his stats at the end showed, but the difference is when they made adjustments, the Raiders made adjustments by what? Their offense finally woke up after 6 quarters of being stagnant.
Yeah.
And once that opened up, they allowed the defense to play some complementary football. Kept them off the field as much as they needed to be. They weren't as tired at the end, so they could shut it down with Crosby going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I heard Crosby. Truth be told, I wasn't able to watch the game yesterday. I was too tapped into the Niners getting their butts whooped. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, they held Lamar Jackson 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. This is an absolute first, so bear with us if it doesn't go right. But we have a call-in guest, our very own Chunk. And before somebody says, who the heck is Chunk? Chunk is Tyler. I told my wife the other night, I said, I want to call him Chunk like all the time because that's what his name is in our fantasy football league. And I asked Tyler, I said, am I allowed to call you Chunk on the show? And he said, by all means. At one chunk to another chunk, please call me Chunk. Tyler, what do you think of the Raiders game yesterday? I know you're a huge Raiders fan playing Lamar Jackson. Big upset, I would say.
Yeah, I was torn yesterday. I wanted Lamar to get me some points, but, it's okay. My team won. I was not a fan of how the beginning of the game started, just like anybody else. I had to turn the channel right when it started. I think it was a strip sack, the first one, but we recovered it. That was the very first play of the game. It was horrible. So I had to take a step back when I started watching and started loving what I was seeing. Defense stepped up. I love having a defense. Darden mentioned through the whole game went 30 for 38 for the whole game, which is pretty good. He only missed 8 passes. Brock Bowers, 9 catches. He got targeted 9 times, caught 9 catches. So went his way, he caught it. Devontae Adams, 9 catches, 110 yards. Loved it. And then, the whole thing Ryan was saying was with the Ravens, Lamar Jackson only got 45 yards, kept him contained. And then I was looking, too, who's the number 1 passing leader right now? Obviously it's Brock Purdy, so props to him, 560 yards. But behind him, Gardner Minshew, 533 yards. Love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so before you go, then, because I'm not gonna, no, I know you're a busy guy, not gonna hold you up all day, but before you go, there was a few weeks ago where you sat here and I asked you and Ryan who you wanted to be the quarterback, and if I'm correct, both you guys said Aiden O'Connell, but Gardner Minshew to start. So after yesterday, and I'm sure the tune was the same last week, but one game, it's the Minshew show, or what? What do you think, Tyler? Before I let you go.
I need to see more. If this continues, though, I want Minshew Mania running wild all over the radio.
All right, cool, man. Thank you so much for being our first calling guest. I love you, buddy. Thank you, man.
You guys too. Have a great show.
All right, back to Ryan real quick, and then we're going to hop around the table about it. Just because Ryan is a Raiders fan, it was a big win yesterday. It was a big win. It was a huge win. So, I mean, what I just asked Chunk. I mean, 2 weeks ago, Minshew, I'd rather see Aiden O'Connell than last week. I'm sure you weren't feeling that great about Minshew.
Nope.
Lost to the Chargers this week, though. Changes your mind a little bit?
Going into half at the Baltimore game, I was, as a Raider fan, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
The offense there was no offense for 6 full quarters. I had no faith in the team of having the ball in their hands. I had no faith that they would drive. I sat and watched it, and I continued watching it, and there was a spark. So whatever happened at halftime in that locker room, it changed. It completely opened up the offense. And you know what? Minshew didn't look too bad. But that's 2 quarters out of 8. I get it. He's the one. It's his name on there right now. Ball out, dude. I'm going to back you. I'm a diehard Raider fan.
Yeah.
But going into the season, no, I thought AOC looked more poised in the pocket, looked better chemistry with the receivers, and especially Tay. But he did well.
Needless to say, this game definitely bought him some more time. I mean, before he had like a leash of like 3-4 games or something like that, probably bought him some more time. Chris, what do you think? Raiders upset the Ravens yesterday.
Can't be mad at it, man.
No.
Did you see Crosby yelling at Minshew after his first pick? That was sick.
Yeah.
He was just like, insert expletive, insert expletive, insert expletive. I don't know what he said. It looked like he was doing all kinds of stuff.
He was coaching him.
He was
coaching him, saying,
But
I
Crosby's the leader
got
of
you,
that team.
dog. We got you on here. You just keep doing what you got to do.
Crosby is the leader. He really is. It's weird to have a guy like that. You're leading your team, but he's a rock star. And, man, they looked good. That's the best the Raiders have looked in a long time. And Minshew looks good. He's got a 9.92 passer rating right now.
You think any of the game, not to take away from the Raiders, the problem is not doing that, but any of the game was a little bit of a hangover for the Ravens playing the Chiefs last week? I mean, they probably put a lot of emotion into that game, right, when you're playing the Chiefs?
I would say so, but being at home, you thought the Ravens would bounce back, but the Raiders took them down, man.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
Brock Bowers, that's his name, right? Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
He had an amazing game yesterday. Raiders took him. He was their first pick in the draft. And during the draft, there was a lot of guys who were like, "What are they doing drafting a tight end first?" Kelly,
That's
what do you
a normal
think?
draft for the Raiders.
Yeah, it was.
What
Like,
are
at
they
least
doing?
it wasn't a kicker or somebody like that. But they took the tight end first, and it's seeming to be paying dividends.
Yeah, what I liked about the Raiders in that second half is you see they were going to their main guys. Adams, they were throwing him the ball. He was doing those 20-yard outs. I mean, Minshew is right there on the money. I see a lot of teams now, they're not getting their main receivers the ball enough. And Minshew, he knew where his bread was buttered. So he went to Bowers and Adams. I'm looking at 9 targets for Bowers and 12 targets for Adams, which was, that's what you pay these guys for,
Yeah, and we both really like Jacoby Myers too, right?
Well, yeah.
We like him. We talked about him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a good third piece in that offense. But yeah, I think that Brock Bowers pickup is huge for him, and the defense is kind of starting to look good. It was definitely a big win for the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree. There was. I came across a funny picture today. It had AP like basically looking at Luke Getsy like this, and I don't know if it was before halftime or after. And it's basically someone wrote in there, dude, quit running the ball on third and shotgun. Just throw it to Tay. Throw it down the field.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, 9 receptions, 110 yards, average of 12.2. Touchdown along.
And he had a couple drops.
Yeah.
So he could have had more.
Yeah.
Well, interesting, too. Minshew had 2 big throws in that second half that led to points. Touchdown and field goal. Lamar did not.
Yeah.
The defense went out there and took care of business.
Hey,
I did not expect Bowers to be this prominent in their offense this soon. I was looking at the second half of the season.
I agree with you.
But 9 catches in the second game of the season, so it's impressive.
Mitch
yeah.
likes his big body boys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the Raiders overall, they've tried over the last few years with like Waller and some other guys like to get like a number one tight end over there, and it looks like they maybe found a guy, right? What was his stats last week? Do you know? Did he catch a few balls?
He did catch a few balls. He was not that high. I
He
wanted
had like 70 yards or something like that.
Yeah, still pretty dang good.
It's still pretty good though.
Still pretty good though. It's crazy because before the season even started, I saw a lot of press conferences, and he's in the media a lot. So I don't know. That always just kind of to me makes it seem like the guys on the team respect him, and the guys that are on the practice field and that are like at OTAs, training camp, preseason, they know who's a dog. You know what I mean? Like
they've been saying
know.
that about this guy.
He's
been dogging all.
Yeah.
He goes, he's our dog. I just looked it up. He had 8 targets, 6 catches for 58 yards.
Yeah.
All right. Uncomfortable subject time. Well, first of all, wait a sec. Before we change it, because this is going to be a quick one, I wanted to ask you, Marvin Harrison finally got some props, right? We're not going to talk about him on the show too much, but Marvin Harrison, he had some big plays yesterday, huh?
All I say is you just throw that guy the ball. He's the real deal. To me, he's probably going to end up as a Hall of Famer like his dad.
Yeah,
but,
wow.
He's got the talent.
First,
like
right
I said, in college, like I was telling y'all when he had no catches. In college, he's seen everything. He was getting triple cover. They still couldn't stop him.
Yeah,
just a lot like yesterday.
Yeah,
when the guy is covered, he's open. Yeah. He's always open.
The nice thing about him, too, is he's got a mobile quarterback, so when he starts to move, he even opens up even more.
Yeah. And his catch radius is ridiculous, man. This dude...
his wingspan, man.
Yeah.
Like 35% in each direction he can catch that ball.
As a wide receiver, I'm sure they showed Kyler Murray the film of him being, like, wide open last week, and they were like, dude, even if he's not one of your reads, you need to look over at this guy's direction. Chances are he's wide open. So we're keeping tabs on the game, 3-7. Eagles are winning right now, 4:44 left in the second. Atlanta's got the ball. Atlanta was one of your guys' picks, to kind of be a surprise team. We'll see if they can pull off the win by the end of this. We'll probably be here till a little after half. Real quick, we want to get into a subject. This is like football related. Shannon Sharp, he left his phone on, and let's just say he was cuddling with a woman. Let's just say cuddling. He left his phone on, and somehow Instagram Live came on. And then we heard some noises. We heard some sounds. We heard some wrestling, if you will.
Growling.
Do you know how hard it is to go live on Instagram?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 5 different clicks or something like that, right?
Me and my friend Brian Davis, we did this at work yesterday or Friday. It takes 4 clicks. So how can you accidentally get on Instagram Live?
Any thoughts, guys? Was it an accident? I have my own take on it.
I don't think it was, because what he was saying, I did kind of some research, and I'm like, I don't go live, but you have to turn it on.
Yeah.
And he had it in a weird spot, and honestly, I just felt like I was watching that scene from Forrest Gump where he heard his mom in the other room trying to excel his educational accolades.
Yeah, I was kind of believing it, and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like caught him in the act a little bit. But then last night, literally on Instagram, was like an ad for like some red pill that he said he was taking during it. Yeah. And I was like, this is too much.
The next night, he sold out his merch that he had.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Publicity is good.
And I'm just going to say this. You can schedule times to go live. So maybe he decided and scheduled to go live before that, and then just forgot about it, and then got caught in the act.
The quirk about that, though, is this is the first time he's ever gone live on that account. He said he doesn't ever use it. He's not tech savvy.
And at first, they were saying he was hacked.
Yeah,
so first
that was the first report, and then
by his agent.
He owned up on it.
He was hacked by his agent. That's what happened.
Yeah, no, I thought it was
I
pretty
googled
funny.
Michelle. There's no Michelle in his life. I love
That guy's funny though, man. He's got a good show. Sometimes I send some clips to like Kelly or something, and I say, the podcast, because he has Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, wide receiver for the Bengals, probably Hall of Fame wide receiver there. He has him as his like sidekick, and that is a funny show. What's it called? Nightcap. It's called Nightcap. They're always drinking, smoking cigars, having a good time, but doing stuff that we're not allowed to do here. But anyways, I thought that was super funny. We're gonna go to commercial break. Come on back. I'm gonna shed some real grown tears about the 49ers when you come back. 93 Huddle Up. I'm Adam Avalos with eXp Realty. I'm a born and raised third-generation Yuba Sutter resident who has lived in the area all my life. My office is located at 1429 Calusa Highway in Yuba City, providing commercial and residential services to Yuba Sutter and Butte counties. Whether you are buying or selling, I promise to treat you and your friends and family like my friends and family. More information about Adam Avalos Realtor can be obtained by phone at 530-933-3541 or by following Adam Avalos Realtor on Instagram or Facebook.
When you arrive at Bullard's Bar Reservoir, at first glance, you probably just see a lake, a beautiful lake, but it's so much more than that. It's a source of power, clean, carbon-free hydropower for when the wind isn't blowing and the sun isn't shining right here in Yuba County. Hydropower that supports our state's power needs, creates quality local jobs, and provides an incredible recreation destination. So head up to Bullard's Bar. There's a lot more to it that you just can't see on the surface. Learn how we're powering a brighter future at yubawater.org.
Guys, welcome back. 93Q, Huddle Up. We are so happy to have you. I'm going to just keep saying that because I am. Anybody that's watching right now, anybody that is giving their time to watch this show, I am very appreciative. It's time now for a segment. We got the glasses ready. It's time to huddle up. No, not Huddle Up. It's time for the Cool Kids Club. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Huddle Up is what we always do, but this is a segment, the Cool Kids Club. This is a time of the week. If you're not watching online, you're like, what are we doing? Well, we're all wearing sunglasses now in studio. It's always sunny in Cool Town. There's actually no sun in here, but we're all wearing sunglasses. This is a segment where we shine light on one particular player, team, really player, maybe a coach or sportscaster or something like that.
Anything
that we
thought was
needs
cool
to be initiated into the Cool Kids Club. Chris, we're going to go with you first. I know, huh? We put the glasses on. We can't see with our regular glasses. Now I can't see. I don't know who's in the Cool Kids Club. The Cool Kids Club has an age limit here. All right.
Easy there, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. All right, Chris, I know it is kind of hard to see now. All right, Chris, who do you got? Who's getting into the Cool Kids Club for you?
Strictly off the fact that he picked off Patrick Mahomes one-handed. Cam Britt-Taylor.
I love
He's an
that.
unknown. He is fantastic. That was the sickest interception I've seen in forever. He OBJ'd that ball backwards and then ran back and was just like, swag.
And who was he covering?
Oh, that's a good question.
Worthy.
Was he?
Yeah, he was running toe-to-toe with Worthy on that side.
That was I had to put that. I was like, man, I hope they don't get mad about this one because that was just the sickest play all weekend. It really was.
Before we go to the next person, we've now got to all see the Chiefs twice. I mean, they've beaten some good competitors now. I mean, they beat, the Ravens. Now they beat the Bengals. We all kind of thought that Joe Burrow could be a dog that could take out, Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't able to. Lamar Jackson wasn't able to. Like, are the Chiefs I hate to say, are they even better than last year?
I don't know. They lost a running back today.
Who'd they lose?
Pacheco. 6 to 8 weeks.
Fractured fibula.
But
Tell me who their backup is.
I don't know.
Yeah, they had to go out and they actually got Kareem Hunt to come back. So they're pulling strings right now to get some running backs. Are they better? 2 impressive wins. I mean, 2 wins by the nick, within last quarter, last drive. Like they're escaping by. Wins are wins in the league, though.
They're a team though that they get everybody's best shot every week. Though you got to know that.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody, you're like playing Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be talked about. But anyways, 2 weeks in, I'm like, gosh. I mean, it's getting to the point where they're definitely a juggernaut in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
And I think everybody that's not a fan of the Chiefs is probably rooting for them to not get better. Like you're already pretty dang good. But,
I hate them.
Like the Patriots?
Yeah.
Everybody hated the Patriots. Everybody hated the Niners in the 80s when they won, too.
That's really the problem here is I've talked about this on the show before, but there was a time when I really hated Tom Brady and the Patriots. Yeah. And then they just started winning so much, it was like, dude, get on the bandwagon. Bro. It'll be easier for you. You won't have to watch. No, you probably won't. And that does suck. It would be like if Kyler Murray or Gino or something like that. It's like it would be tough too. But from somebody else that doesn't have to play them very often, it is hard not to.
Yeah.
But the Raiders usually beat the Chiefs and
at least once
last
a year.
Christmas Day.
At least once
they
a
did
year.
A few years ago.
Yeah,
At least once a year. They beat them in Kansas City.
They have good game plans for Patrick Mahomes, and they slam him. They're like a 15-yard penalty is worth it.
Patrick Mahomes does not like going up against
Hey.
Crosby. He'll tell you that.
You're bringing up some stuff that's actually been brought up because AP grew up in Compton, Raider fan. He watched it goes back to basketball, the Jordan rules.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about it. The Mahomes rules is what he's calling it. They're prepared to play Mahomes, and that's what they prepare for every year.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So,
all right,
15 yards is worth it.
All right, well then let's stop again. The end of that game, we're going to talk about it, right? Because I don't want to be alone and then be like, Adam's a hater for the Chiefs, right? All right, the end of that game, it wasn't a questionable call. We all think it was pass interference, right? It wasn't questionable. But doesn't something always happen to these guys where like the referees seem to just be like bailing them out of something, whether it be at the end of the game or like somewhere in the middle of the game, or am I just imagining that happens? What do you think, Kelly?
Sounds like a Niner fan.
Okay, all right, fair enough. No, fair enough. Fair enough. But do
I
you
agree,
legitimately
Adam.
think
But,
that, or
but
do you
this,
think
is
they
the
get the
thing.
calls?
This is the thing. Yes, the Chiefs have gotten some favorable calls at end of games, right?
No, but more than other teams in the NFL, or it's like it's on par with everybody. We're just like sensing. That's
I think
higher.
it's because they're always on national TV and we always see the Chiefs
That's a good
games.
point.
Yeah, that
Good
you
point.
know, I'm sure if we go back and we look at some Niners games or some Dolphins games or some Raiders. Well,
Don't
not
put the Raiders in there.
I was
Thank
going to
you.
say not
Yeah.
Raiders. The
Well,
Raiders.
see, that's the thing, though. I think you could make the case that the Raiders, like, and I'll even say it, they like never get the calls.
Right, they don't.
Like, so
No,
I
they
don't know.
do against them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that they never.
Sorry,
they-
you're not driving
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Well, last year, the Eagles-Dolphins game, there was no penalties against the Eagles in that Sunday night game, but the Dolphins had like 10 for 110 yards or something.
Yeah,
It's crazy, yeah.
No, yeah. Do you think that's more of a? Do you think it's more like because you're a Raiders fan? Do you think that's more like the Raiders style? It just like the referees out there, they just generally maybe don't like the players' attitudes, and so they're more willing to throw the flags, or is it or you don't think the NFL's involved in it? Do you? I think the NFL would love the Raiders to be good, so I can't
I
see
don't
it
think
that
so.
way.
I don't think the NFL likes Al Davis. And that's
Yeah?
where it all stems from.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it goes deeper than that. But as of the last, 2 to 3 years, I haven't seen it as much. I think things have changed a little bit.
Well, I appreciate that take. I tend to agree. Something goes on with the Raiders. They don't get as many calls as the other
There
teams.
was actually studies done about it. They were the team that had the most turning event penalties in all of football for multiple years.
Well, I know.
30
I know.
for 30 episode coming 2025.
I know coming out of my mouth, it definitely seems like a Niners hater. I definitely do. But I also know that after all the Sunday games are over and I open up Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, I see many, many articles about from Barstool Sports or from this junction or this junction where it's saying, did the Chiefs just get away with another one or something like that? So I know it's not just me. It may just be everybody kind of hates on the Chiefs, and that's a fair point. But I don't know. I think something is amiss, but I can't put a finger on it.
When Brady was winning, it was all
Yep.
those.
I was just thinking that.
Deflate Gate and
No, but I can-
there's always when you're winning, people are going to look for some chink in the armor.
But
So-
I love Brady, and and at this point, I was kind of changed, and I could admit they got away with a lot of stuff. They got the calls. Brady did.
They'll
But,
know
you
how to walk that fine line.
Yeah. All right, Cool Kids Club, Ryan, back on track. That was just a side thing. Wanted to ask you guys about the Chiefs. You know, they're always.
Oh yeah. I mean the easy one to go, which I don't want to go the easy route out. Obviously, we all probably saw Kamara tear up the Cowboys.
Yes.
We're not going to go there. I'm actually going to go with the Sunday night receiver last night, Nico Collins.
Yep.
Nico is balling out over there in Houston.
He really is.
He's doing great. Week 1, he was 6 out of 8 targets for 117 yards. Week 2, he was 8 out of 10 targets for 135 yards and a touchdown. He's clearly the number one over there, and I just think he's doing great over there. And so I am going to put Nico Collins in that Cool Kids Club.
Yeah, Nico Collins and the Texans won last night. They are a really, really good team. You think they got any chance of upseating Mahomes and the Chiefs?
That'd be interesting. That'd be a good game.
AFC Championship?
small chance.
That's what you
Small
like,
chance.
right? You like that squad.
Yeah.
All right, who you got in your Cool Kids Club, Kelly? Give us somebody good.
So all these guys are good. So
Yeah. All right, well, give us a few, brother. Give us a
I
few.
couldn't just get one, right?
All right, well, give us
So,
a few.
I'm gonna go with my honorable mention first, right? So I got Jackson Smith and Jigba, C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Noah Brown, and Terry McLaurin.
Hey, what's all those guys got in common?
They Buckeyes, right?
Oh,
And today I'm wearing the Ohio State throwback J.K. Dobbins jersey because he is my cool kid of this week.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
we should do the weekly horseshoe list
don't
from
forget
Kelly.
about Marvin Harrison Jr.
No,
he was
it's not.
still honorable mention, but J.K. Dobbins has been balling this year.
He did kill
He's
us
leading the
yesterday.
NFL in rushing.
In case you haven't noticed, the NFL season has actually started. So the first few episodes, there were no games being played. As the season progresses here, the things will get a little more spicy. People will get into their allegiance corners. People will start taking sides and things like that. It's like Ohio State, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Niners. So prepare to see that. But this is the kind of spiciness that we were looking for.
You can keep the Dolphins out of this. I don't know much for them
exactly.
right now.
Yeah. Well, it's like without football, everything's speculation. Now the games have actually started. We're able to kind of see how good people are. But anybody else you wanted an honorable mention?
Every Ohio State
I know, every
Buckeye that's
Ohio
ever
State
played
guy.
in the
You
world.
wanna do the defensive side of the ball now?
Let me just say this. And Justin Fields, they threw him out of Chicago.
They did.
They did.
I'm
He got
so
a bum
glad
rap.
he's out of there. He went to Pittsburgh. He's 2-0 right now. He's probably going to retain that starting job. Look at your boy in Chicago. He looks just like Justin Fields last year, right?
Yeah.
Probably worse because
Yeah, I
Justin
know.
Fields,
2.0.
at least he was running for 100 yards a game.
Yeah.
So
Let's all remember to not hype up a guy this much before the season.
like I said,
We
before
did
the
it.
season
I know,
started,
I
what,
didn't
did, what
either.
did I say? I said, is Eberflus still the coach?
Yes, you
As
did.
long
That was
as
the
he's
first thing.
coaching-
That's the first thing I heard you utter out of your mouth. Yep.
As
Yeah.
long as he's coaching, hey, that kid Williams,
Caleb.
Caleb Williams. I mean, he's a good talent, but the Chicago's got to get rid of Eberflus, and if they want to be able to develop quarterbacks, and
He's got no help out there. You watched last night. The guy was just running for his life the whole night.
Yeah.
When this season started, we thought he had the best 3 receivers probably in the NFL.
Where they at?
Yeah.
DJ
they
Moore
at?
missed a couple.
No, well, only one that missed Keenan Allen was out, but
Yeah.
the rest of them played. So
That's because he's old.
We're checking in with the Monday night game here, 3-7. The Eagles are leading. The Atlanta Falcons are in the red zone. Looks like a few minutes left in the second quarter. So Atlanta looking to take over this game, or not take it over, but take the lead here. No, they're lining up for a field goal, a 22-yard attempt, 9 seconds left. So we will let you know. Well, let's just pause. We're right here. They're about to kick it. Here we go. The kick is up. Oh, it's straight through. 6-7. It'll go to halftime. My guy is the only guy, him and maybe Nick Bosa and Juwan Jennings. Those are the 2 guys that I thought played good yesterday besides this guy. But my Cool Kids Club goes to a guy that was on losing team yesterday, Fred Warner. This guy is in line for Defensive Player of the Year. He's always been like really my favorite defensive player, and he gets a lot of tackles. He doesn't get a lot of like some of the more shiny stats. Ryan's got him in fantasy football, and he torched me yesterday. But yesterday, 7 tackles solo, 2 tackles assists, 1 sack, 1 interception, 2 fumbles forced, including 1 on the 1 goal line, and 2 pass deflection. This guy is everywhere. If I was going to do what do they call that? Not a fantasy draft, but where you, I don't know what they call it in Madden.
mock?
Where the one where you get to pick from any of the players.
Legacy draft?
Legacy.
Legacy
That's what
draft,
it's called. If I was going to pick a legacy draft and I'm building a defense, obviously I'd take a quarterback first. And if I'm building a defense, you can have everybody
But you took McCaffrey this year.
I know, but if I'm building a defense, it's not fantasy football. If I'm
90% of fantasy drafters.
legacy draft, we said I'm taking Fred Warner, man. This guy is all over the place. He does it all. I love Fred Warner. What's that?
there was a guy called Lawrence Taylor.
No, I know. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
What does that have to do with now?
That's his legacy pick.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about right now in the NFL. We start the defense, and I'm taking Fred Warner. He was all over the place yesterday. To me, he's the baddest linebacker. Roquan Smith is really, really good, but you can have him. I've got Fred Warner. But anyways, all right. Well, so I want to talk about Tua. Tua, we're going to get in. Got our resident, Dolphins fan here. I know.
Tua is game time.
Ryan, this is recorded, Ryan. Take it easy, dude. I'm not trying to get in trouble here.
I'm not.
Obviously, Tua last week on Thursday Night Football, the glasses are off. We're taking our glasses off. Now we can finally see. We're all like, pushing 40 and above in this room. But anyways, so Tua kind of runs for it last week. Is doing like a little bit of a head dive and gets bent up by
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin,
the one who died almost 2 years ago. Was out there trying to kill quarterbacks.
The guy who that was kind of crazy.
It was
that was the guy that hit him, but kind of crumpled up. We've seen this far too often with Tua. Definitely some concussions in the past. So, want to go to Chris first. What is the latest on Tua? And then also, what do you kind of think? Like, Tua, time to hang it up, keep going?
You hate to see it, but yeah. I mean, 3 concussions. He's barely 30 years old. And there's not even, I looked up some stats from Alabama. He had hip injuries. He had some lower disc injuries. There's concussions they probably didn't even call out. So he may have had more.
Yeah.
So he just had a baby. I know they signed him to a big contract, but you got to draw the line at your family and your health because, like Ryan said with the fingers, man, that's a reality for these guys, and CTE is a real thing.
Yeah.
I think he's got I hate to see it because I am a Dolphins fan, and he's a great player, and he's actually a great individual and does a lot for the community. I just think he has to go. I think he's got to be done. And if the Dolphins clear him, and then he decides to retire, he gets no money. But if they don't clear him, and they medically retire him, he'll get his full contract.
All right, explain that. Explain how that works.
Okay. So he got paid $212.
Okay.
Right? Guaranteed $167.
Yes.
Okay. If he plays out his whole contract and never gets hurt or anything, he gets the full $212. But if they medically retire him, they got to pay him his guaranteed money, $167.
Yes.
And some change. But if they clear him to play and he decides I don't want to play, they don't have to pay him a dime.
But wouldn't it be a media frenzy
No.
if they don't clear him to play, or if they clear him to play and he's really not ready to go? If he
could be because they cleared him too early last time. Because remember in week 3 of Cincinnati,
it was
and then
a
he
big
did
deal.
it again in Buffalo back to back.
But because of that situation, the concussion protocol in the NFL changed.
Yes.
So all because of Tua, like you said, this is his 4th concussion. He had 3 that year.
Oh, was it 3 that year?
Three
Okay,
in
I was off one.
2022.
Yeah.
And they confirmed 1 for sure in Alabama. Actually, when he broke his hip, that hit actually had a concussion too.
And the thing is, he's going to see an independent neurologist. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
clear
seen
him. It's not
So
the
there's
NFL.
a lot of decisions
It's not
to
the
be made.
NFL clearing him. So,
But if they clear him and he walks away, it's like Andrew Luck's situation. He's foregoing the money and he's moving on.
Yeah. And he actually
But do
interviewed.
you think they will clear him? Can they clear him? He's
The
been hit so many
NFL
times.
will clear him somehow, some way.
Yeah, they'll find a way to do it.
They're not going to pay you $167 million. The Dolphins are going to look for every way. I mean, if they know he's going to retire, as of right now, he's not retiring. He said he's coming back to play.
I think it would look bad on the NFL because he can go and take a lawsuit out against them because all the player safety stuff that they're.
Exactly. So you think the NFL is going to clear him?
4 years to
you
clear
think they're
him.
not going to clear him?
Well, I'm saying they're going to have
If he wants to be
they're gonna have a
uncleared.
conversation behind the doors, right?
Yeah.
And Tua's
Behind
going to
the
say,
shield.
"I don't want to play."
he wants to play. Yeah,
He wants to
play.
play.
Well, I'm just
Well,
saying,
I
if
know,
he
but that's
said-
all he can say, right?
Exactly,
Like
right.
you're not allowed to say. If you say, "Yeah, well," then everybody's like, "What a wimp!" You know what I mean?
I-
He has
I'm
to
Yeah,
say
but if
he
he's
wants to
sitting there
play.
still
drooling
concussed.
with lies in the back
If
of
his
his head.
agent,
Yeah,
if
he's
his
still
agent
picked up.
comes to the Dolphins, sorry.
No, it's okay.
If his agent comes to the Dolphins and says he's going to retire, I guarantee you they settle some type of contract
They will.
where he takes $100 million and he
Yeah.
goes.
Because
what
they'll
it-
look
I think
so
he'll get half of the
heartless if they
67,
do not. We talk
167
about
or
it all the
something.
time about how much
Yeah.
money these guys get paid. If they do not, if they clear him, and then he's like supposedly not going to get that money, that'll be terrible. Look.
Well, here's the
you
thing.
know,
He also has a signing bonus. So that's prorated. So
Yeah.
if he left right now, he'd have to give up 40. He had a $42 million signing bonus. As of right now, he'd have to give back 33.6. I mean, are they really going to force him to give it back? Probably not. That's probably they're going to be their baseline. Like, hey, look, if you walk away from this, keep the bonus.
But you think he should retire?
Absolutely.
All right. What do you think?
I think he should.
What do you think?
Play.
You just want to see Crosby destroying in the middle of the season.
Honestly, to me, wasn't it kind of surprising? You guys saw the play. I take it.
Yeah. Once
But
I saw
wasn't
the
it kind of
fingers-
surprising? Why is he running so reckless?
Why is he not wearing a Guardian cap? Why not?
Yes,
Of all
yes.
people in this league that should be wearing one,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, because if he's the only one, that adds to like the softness look of it. Like he's like the only dude.
I'm
out
still
there.
getting paid
There's like
167
3 or 4 people
million.
Wearing the,
He-
your boy from Michigan wears it. But they're soft, though, Michigan people.
No, but if we could look at the play, he was well, within. He already had the
If
first
he would
down.
have slid, he would have been short of the
first.
first.
Yeah, but
he should have just went head first with the ball, and tried to stretch the ball instead of going head first into DeMar's hip.
Yeah.
It was just, and then the way he did it, he turned his head the wrong way. He should have gone this way with his shoulder, and he led this way with his head, which is why his head went.
Maybe he was concussed before this.
He's been concussed for 5 years, man.
I think the scary thing, though, is every concussion he's been getting is getting, he goes in that fencing posture, which is automatically like a severe
That
concussion.
UFC knockout.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
it's
that
scary.
tensed up,
It's
his
scary
foot
to
goes
see.
straight.
Imagine his family watching that, man. His wife with their new baby.
Well, and the Dolphins,
Scary.
they kind of, regardless of what they think, it's a touchy subject for just like, how they handle it. And last time they got in a lot of trouble for potentially trying to like rush him back.
Yes.
And so
I still say play. He had 3 in 2022 and had a great year last year.
yeah. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I'm
It's
gonna be the
it's
guy out.
whether
Play.
he's going to play or not, you want to have no part in telling him whether he should or not.
There you
You
go.
just like
100%
do what
agree.
you want, man. Do what you want.
As a
we are
Dolphins
gonna
fan, I
come,
don't
but we
think
are
so.
going to come back for the last segment. Thank you so much for joining us. It gets a little spicy in here. I'm gonna yell at Kelly on the break. No, anyways, 93Q Huddle Up.
Let's go.
Come back.
Let's go.
I'm Adam Avalos with eXp Realty. I'm a born and raised third-generation Yuba Sutter resident who has lived in the area all my life. My office is located at 1429 Calusa Highway in Yuba City, providing commercial and residential services to Yuba Sutter and Butte counties. Whether you are buying or selling, I promise to treat you and your friends and family like my friends and family. More information about Adam Avalos Realtor can be obtained by phone at 530-933-3541 or by following Adam Avalos Realtor on Instagram or Facebook.
From community-supported 93Q, here's your local weather forecast. Tonight, our skies will be mostly cloudy, with a slight chance of showers, and with a low around 57, and winds will be from the southeast at around 5 miles an hour. Then increasing clouds tomorrow, with a high near 76, and with a southeast wind at 7 miles an hour. And Wednesday will be mostly cloudy, with a high near 74. Our highs will top out in the mid-70s for the next couple of days, with a chance of showers tomorrow night into Wednesday. Then a warming trend will take over from Thursday into the weekend. Our afternoon temperatures will warm day by day, reaching the low 90s by Sunday, and our nights will cool into the mid to upper 50s. This weather forecast is made possible by Yuba Water Agency at yubawater.org, investing in Yuba County and significantly reducing your flood risk. I'm Kurt Baird. Thanks for supporting 93Q Community Radio, and have a good evening.
Thank you guys. Last half of the show. So happy to be here. We were talking about Tua the entire time. Tua, just do what you want, man. Do what you feel, Tua. You're going to be rich regardless. We're going to get into the Niners, though. That's something that I was debating. Do we even talk about it? Obviously, the Niners yesterday lose a heartbreaker. I'm not going to call it an upset because I think the Vikings are actually a pretty good team. But
team.
the Niners lose to the Vikings yesterday, 17-23. A lot of hysteria happened today in Ninerland.
The Sam Darnold revenge.
Yeah, the Sam Darnold revenge game. The Niners had Sam Darnold last year. He was a second string quarterback. He kind of beat out Trey Lance. In the Niners, you just can't keep great quarterback or good quarterbacks, I would say, on your roster. So they had to let him go. I mean, Sam Darnold wasn't even the starting quarterback this year. It was McCarthy, right? JJ McCarthy. And so, but Sam Darnold played pretty good yesterday. Go with Kelly first. What did you think? Niners lose yesterday, 17-23.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, their defense played well, but I think more mistakes by the Niners is what caused the Niners that loss. So they had some costly turnovers, and their defense gave up big plays. And, of course, Justin Jefferson just showed out.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson he's a one-of-one type player. He's really, really good. 97-yard touchdown yesterday. Blown coverage right there by Jair Brown. I was not that happy about that. There was a block punt in the game. It was crazy. We don't have the ability to show clips in here or anything. We don't want to get sued from the NFL. But after the block punt, the Niners have this, I think he's from Australia, Mitch Wishnowsky. He's the punter. The guy blocked the punt, and if you go back and watch the clip, he just stares at him. It's almost like he's really good at punting. But
over.
He doesn't understand the rules that like he needs to go touch that guy. So luckily, another 49ers player came over. But I thought the block punt was obviously a game changer. And then the 49ers went for it on 4th and 1 in the red zone over there. They didn't get it, which was tough to watch. I think if it hadn't have been for Fred Warner's crazy awesome game-saving play to knock the ball out of the running back.
Punched it out.
Yeah, where he punched out. He's done that twice now in the first 2 games. He is the man at that. But they probably wouldn't even have been in that game. But obviously, it was a tough loss. One that I think the Niners were favored by like 5 points to win. Ryan, what do you think? Niners lose to the Vikings 17-23.
It was tough. It was tough. But like I said to you guys before the show, you can't go in the NFL, regardless of the spreads, regardless of being the better team or not, you can't show up to someone's field and turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win a game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. I know on paper it says only 2 turnovers, but, the 4th downs, going for 4th downs and turning the ball over, that's a turnover to me. The block punt's a turnover. It's just hard. It's hard. But the Niners...
Kind of surprising they were still in it like they were.
Yeah. The crazy thing to me that I was looking up when I was watching the game and kind of looking at the stats afterwards for the show and stuff is the Niners have not won at U.S. Bank Stadium in their last 8 times. Last win was in 1992.
Yeah, it's been like 30 years.
So I hope that none of those players bank with U.S. Bank.
No,
because you're just helping them out.
Yeah, that was a crazy stat. I saw that before, and I thought the night before, well, I don't really believe in those types of things.
It's kind of weird, though.
And the Niners are. But, after watching the Vikings play, they definitely got some dogs. They're one thing that they definitely did on the Niners, and I saw it like a little graph. There's NFL now, there's all these different stats, but it was like a separation graph. And Jawan Jennings and George Kittle were able to get quite a bit of separation. I think the average was like a 2.5, and George Kittle was like at a 4.7, Jawan Jennings at a 3. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk were like at a 1 or below. Their separation was god awful. I'm sure if we were able to watch the game film that they were just not getting away from the DBs. The DBs, they got that guy from the Cowboys that was there last year, 2 years ago. The Vikings do. But anyways, there wasn't a lot of separation. Kind of a little irritated at Brandon Ayuk because he is definitely not in shape. He's not playing like the Brandon Ayuk of last year, not getting it done. But what do you think, Chris? Chris has got a good stat. He told me he was going to make me happy.
I was going to make you happy, man.
Yeah, he told me.
Okay, so Brandon Ayuk, him not practicing and holding out, that was the worst decision, and the Niners should have never signed him that high for him doing what he did. That was a bum. He's a bum for that in my book. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
That being said, this stat that I have for you, I went back to the whole history of when the Vikings and the Niners have played, going back to the very first game, and they're actually undercover rivals. 25-25-1 is that. It's exactly matched.
Really?
Going back to the very beginning, Adam, go look at 25-25-1, and that even counts the 5 postseason games for the NFC divisionals.
You want to hear a funny story that I just thought about right now? My very first Niner game at Candlestick Park was a game, the Niners. I went with a friend of me and Ryan's, BJ Mills, and it was Brad Johnson was the quarterback for the Vikings. That's how long ago it was. Ooh. And the game ended 6-3. No touchdowns scored. My very first game that I ever go to Candlestick, 6-3, all field goals. You know what I did? I went home and I had a credit card that had like a $2,000 limit on it. I went home and I instantly maxed it out and then purchased season tickets. And I got season tickets I was hooked. It didn't even matter that there was no scores. I had season tickets for the next 7 years at the Stick.
So I should have taken you to a Raider game first.
All those Alex Smith, I was already a Niner fan before.
Flak jackets included.
But yeah, I fell in love with it regardless. But yeah, Niners and the Vikings, Vikings are good. I want to say something just to get this point out there. The Niners did not have Hufanga. They did not have Greenlaw. They don't have CMC. Who knows if he's coming back. Pearsall wasn't there. So I think, the Niners, they are going to have some guys coming back. Hufanga and Greenlaw. Greenlaw is like a huge piece to and I know every team's dealing with injuries. I mean, the Vikings probably didn't have a guy or two, but I don't think it's total freak out mode or anything for the Niners. Definitely it wasn't a game that we want to lose, but gosh, now I'm starting to kind of think though that the Vikings, that division over there with Green Bay, the Lions, the Bears obviously were really good. Yeah. But the Vikings are going to be tough, right? You think
Flores,
the Vikings?
Man. Flores, he's actually a defensive genius. Terrible head coach because Miami had him, but Flores on the defense, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He really knows.
I still think the Vikings are going to be around 500.
Yeah, 500 team. Yeah. A lot of things had to go kind of right for them to win that game yesterday. But, anyways, good for the Vikings. I'm salty. All right. Hit it right here, Ryan. We are going to pull the fire alarm on a player, a team, a coach, organization, sportscaster, whatever it may be. This is a segment where something we see, not quite right. We want to pull the fire alarm. I'll go first on this one. Fire alarm I want to pull on is kind of an obvious one, but I want to be able to recant a statement that I made earlier in the season. Obviously, I didn't know this was going to happen, but I thought the Rams were going to be really, really good. And I guess the Rams can win some games at the end, but just a tidal wave of injuries hitting the St. Louis Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. But anytime you lose Puka Nacua like that, you lose Cooper Kupp. Obviously, I don't mean to be a tune changer, but I want to say it for the record, they're not going to be good this year. It's time to pull the fire alarm, and they're going to win some games. They're just like last season and some other. Whoever plays them at the end of the year, they made the playoffs last year, but whoever plays them at the end of this year, they're not going to be fun games because Matthew Stafford and those guys, they don't care. They're still going to go out there and try to beat you, but they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. The injuries are going to be too much to surmount, but. Yeah, I got to pull the fire alarm on them as an organization. It sucks for it to be week 2, and you're probably just not going to have that great of a season, but sometimes injuries are just too much to overcome.
Yeah,
so I pull the fire alarm on the Rams. Sorry, Stafford. I had you pegged for a huge year, and you just can't do it without your two best weapons. Kelly, what do you think? Pull the fire alarm. Who are you pulling it on?
Yeah, I'm pulling the fire alarm on Will Levis.
All right.
Just bad decision making.
Quarterback of the Titans.
Titans.
Mayonnaise lover.
Yeah,
The mayonnaise commercial alone.
Have you seen the commercial?
Yeah, where he eats mayonnaise straight.
It's
And does a
disgusting.
split on them?
Is it Miracle Whip or is it mayonnaise?
No, it's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
All right, okay.
Miracle Whip, you could do that.
All right, whoa. All right, next week we're bringing a thing of Miracle Whip. I got to see somebody eat the spoonful.
It's Hellman's.
Ugh. All right, go for it, Kelly.
But Levis, not only his stats are bad, first game against the Bears defense pretty good, 127 yards passing, had a touchdown, but he had a costly interception. The Titans were winning in the first half, and Bears came back on a punt return and a terrible pick six. Yeah, that was terrible.
I saw a clip of his coach giving it to him yesterday.
yeah.
He was like, "What are you doing?"
Well, they had a talk with him after what he did for the pick six, and then he comes with the Jets and he does the same thing. They are inside the red zone and they're going in to score, and he does some little roll the ball pitch between the guy's leg, and the Jets end up recovering it. I mean, it was just bad. It was a bad look. They lost both games 17-24, and they was in both games, and he had costly mistakes at the end that cost his team victories. The Titans could be, like their coach said, if they would have just punted on third or on first down.
His backup is Mason Rudolph, though.
Someone said they're talking Rudolph.
He'll be swinging helmets by next week, man.
I know.
The Titans next week are going to punt on first down.
Yeah. Seems like I was telling you this the other day, but there's a lot of good quarterbacks, backups, and so there could be some trades by the end of the season where guys get. I think like the Niners, like Brandon Allen won the second string job. I saw Dobbs in the preseason. I thought he was pretty good. I do like Allen though too, but Dobbs, I think he won't be on the Niners by the end of the season. Somebody should give Dobbs a look. He could win some games in Tennessee.
Hey, if I'm man, who's the team for Flacco? Miami.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. He said Miami coming in, but they already signed Tyler Huntley from Baltimore.
Yeah, but you can get you can get guys.
Flacco, look what he did for
Flacco's
the
on the
Browns.
Colts though right now.
Is he on the Colts?
Yeah.
Oh, they did sign.
That was the thing with the
Okay.
Jets. I was so mad at them last year because they just sat there and they didn't try, and they just went with Zach Wilson all the rest of the year. Anyways, Ryan, go ahead. Who you pulling the fire alarm on?
I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm going to eat a little bit of crow right now. Preseason, before the season started, I thought he would actually have a better season because they got better weapons open and filled it. But I'm pulling the fire alarm on Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. Week 1, 3 catches, 34 yards. This week, 1 catch, 5 yards. Homeboy still living on the tour with Taylor Swift.
bro.
Is that it though? It's really the Taylor Swift effect, or is it age?
I think it's both. It's just distraction.
I think he's just too distracted. He's got too much going on.
He's
outside
only
of the
been
game.
targeted 7 times in 2 games.
Or is it that $100 million podcast?
It's podcast. It's Cheerios. It's Taylor Swift.
Since I started this radio show, my real estate business has been going like, no, I'm just kidding. It's been exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm going to eat crow and say, you know what? I thought he was going to be better by opening the field up, but he's gone. I'm pulling that fire alarm.
Yeah, it's crazy too because we're talking about them getting better, and it's mainly we think that because they got some wide receiver weapons, you would think that he would have an easier time. But
Right.
Chris, want to get to you? Who are you pulling the fire alarm on, brother?
Dallas's backfield, Rico Dwaddle.
Yeah, Dallas is a good one.
Dallas, dude, I looked it up. 3 catches, 29 yards was Dwaddle. 3 targets, 2 catches for a combined 13 carries. That's it. And then they're putting it all on Lamb. What did I tell you? If it's all going to be Lamb, he's going to get tired. He's not going to do it. Where was Brandon Cooks? Dallas is a mess right now, man.
We talked about this, but Dallas is one of those teams, when they get punched in the face they're like a bully, right? And when the bully punches back, they kind of, but my guy last week, my Cool Kids Club guy last week was Carr. Carr could be in the Cool Kids Club again, right? He's definitely
the Saints can be in the
Saints,
Cool Kids
man.
Club.
No,
The
but
Saints
Carr
are killing it right
the Saints
now.
definitely, and Kamara was but Carr, man, he's looking
he
pretty
is.
good.
I'm actually happy for Carr because he got a lot of slack in Oakland and LVR. And
I have never been a Carr hater as a Raider fan.
I
I've
thought he
always
was
liked
good.
him.
I know he made a lot of mistakes, but that guy's got a cannon for an arm, and he is a good guy to have on your team.
I just think he's a good guy.
He's a good guy in general.
Yeah, he's just
really
a good
is.
guy in general.
And he's a Fresno boy. So.
We got 2 minutes left. It's 2 minutes. We're getting to the remaining teams that are 0-2. Falcons just kicked one. Falcons might not be 0-2 after the night is over right here. Falcons were a pick that a lot of these guys had that were going to be a team that was going to be pretty good. It's still early in the season.
We said playoffs. That's all. Not good. We just said they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, that's pretty good.
Well, you can make it with an 8-8 record or 8-7.
Nobody's making it in the NFC with an 8-8 record. But anyways,
real quick, since the NFL expanded to 14 teams in 2020, 32 teams have started 0-2.
Really?
2 teams have made the playoffs. Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, I like
and
that.
the Houston
Nice.
Texans
Wasn't
last
it
year.
all right, so then the better question would be, who on this list, we can all see it in front of us, Baltimore, Carolina, Cincinnati,
What's the list again?
Denver,
Need the remaining
Indianapolis,
0-2 teams.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, New York,
Ravens.
Tennessee. Who is the most likely team to make the playoffs of 0-2 start?
Ravens. That's what I think.
I'm saying Bengals.
You still like the Bengals?
I like the Bengals too.
I like the Ravens, but I like the
look
Bengals.
at
The
this
next 4
list.
games are a little easier. They're going to pull it out for the faster.
Last season, these 0-2 teams made it to the playoffs or had winning seasons. Baltimore, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and then the Rams.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go a shock the world pick. We all would have guessed those two. All right, let's go a shock the world. Who do you see on that list that like if you just had $1 million just to bet for free, somebody gave you a free bet, you got to put it on one of those teams to make the playoffs. Who do you choose?
I would
Beside
go
those
Colts.
two.
I would go Colts.
Indianapolis Colts? I know the list
I'd
is...
go
I don't-
Jackson. If you twisted my arm, I'd go Jacksonville.
Even with Trevor Lawrence and Kirk.
It's a free
really?
bet. You're playing free play.
I'd go Jacksonville on this list.
That's probably that would be next. It'd be a toss up.
Because the rest of them, Denver, the Giants.
No,
I mean, if I'm a betting dude and I'm using your money, I'm doing the Broncos because they have the best payout.
If I'm taking all 4 of you
Because
guys,
I still can't pick the Panthers because I don't trust that.
Yeah.
Panthers, baby.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
Panthers
yeah.
are coming with a new QB this week, though.
That's
so.
I'm a Niners fan, so I don't
Andy
root for the
Dalton.
Rams.
Dalton.
But
Dalton.
sucks what happened.
Other than the Bengals and Ravens, I'm going to tell you I'm going to bet on them other teams. I'm putting my money on one of them.
Yeah. So Bengals, Ravens, they got to get back in the mix. Thank you so much. That was a fun show. I had a lot
it
of
was
fun.
fun.
You guys
Yeah,
had fun?
it was a good time.
Yeah,
Went
it's
by
going to get
quick.
more spirited every single week because our teams are going to start winning.
Raiders.
I know, Raiders.
Just keep it PG.
Dolphins going into
Yeah,
Seattle,
we'll keep
man.
it-
I'm
We'll
scared.
keep it PG. Hey, Shannon Sharp. Put your phone down, man. Put your phone down. You know what I mean? Put your phone down. All right. Anyways, thank you guys. We'll see you next week, next Monday. Have a wonderful week. Huddle up on 93Q.